Welcome back. I'm your host Patson, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/relationships, where OP's wife had a one-night stand with her boss. Let's begin. My wife of 16 years cheated on me with her boss. Posted by Reddit user Spotify Label.
About a month ago, my wife cheated on me with her ex-boss. He'd left the company the week before. We were both supposed to go to a party downtown that night and spend the night at a nearby hotel. Our babysitter became unavailable and I needed to stay home with our kiddo, 5 years old. She decided that she would go alone and stay the night without me. Before she left for work that morning, I told her how uncomfortable I was with that. Normally, I wouldn't have cared, but my spider sense was tingling because of weirdness over the previous few days. She told me there was nothing to worry about and that was that. I woke up with a start at 2:15 in the morning and a knot in the pit of my stomach. She'd recently turned off her phone location service, should have been a huge red flag, but I didn't actually think that much of it, but I checked it anyway. She'd turned it back on, and I could see she was at an apartment complex, nowhere near the party location. She was there until 9 a.m. I confronted her when she got home, and after some half-hearted lies, she stopped denying it. It was the first time, might have been some groping and/or oral earlier in the week, I'll never know, though it wasn't a drunken moment of weakness. She'd been thinking about it and planning for it for a couple of weeks. She knew what she was doing and obviously didn't care what it did to the family. Our marriage has had its ups and downs, and I've not always been the greatest husband. I've never been unfaithful though, and I love her dearly. Whatever issues we had, I think we could have worked through. From what I can piece together, I think she was looking for a quick escape from a husband and child that she felt were stifling her. It was a chance to have a different, more exciting life. Turns out that her ex-boss was really just looking for a little something on the side. He put her into a cab still in her evening gown and made her make the 9 a.m. walk of shame back at her hotel by herself. Oops. After she finally admitted the infidelity to me, she told me that it had been a mistake and she wanted to stay with me. There's a chance that her ex-boss would try to hire her at the new company he works for. She's really damn good at her job, and I suspect his motivations would be more that she would help make him look good rather than sexual. She's really not his type. I told her that there was no way that could happen. She couldn't be with me and work for the man she'd broken her vows with. I told her that she needed to call her ex-boss and tell him that they could never speak again, and I needed to hear her say the words to him. She resisted this fairly strongly. The new job, if it were to materialize, would be an important career boost for her. Turning it down would be a big sacrifice, so I understood some of the hesitation. She asked me for a day or two to think it through. She went over to her mother's house for a couple of hours, and when she came back told me that she'd decided to make the call and give up the career opportunity. What she didn't know was that because I get the phone bills, I have access to her call records. I could see that she'd talked to her boss for an hour while she was going to her mother's. I didn't mention that I knew this and had her call her boss. She told him that it had been a huge mistake and that they needed to cut off all communications. He said that he understood and would honor her wishes. Pretty much exactly what I wanted to hear. Later, I asked her if she talked to her boss any since he put her in a cab back to her hotel. She said that she hadn't. I pressed her on this and she said, if you want the truth, I sent him a text just seeing how he was recovering from the party. I told her that I knew that this was a lie. And I knew she'd talked to him before coming home from her mother's. I pressed her on what the hour-long call was about. She told me it was to talk about what she was going to call him about later with me, the breakup call. I realize, of course, that this made the whole breakup call a pile of nonsense. I told her that I thought she called him to see if there was any chance of a relationship. She denied, but couldn't otherwise explain what the hell they talked about for so long. Finally, she let it slip that he'd said, you need to try to make it work with your husband. If not, then we'll see. So, my instincts were right. She had to think about whether to turn down the possible career opportunity because she had to figure out what her options were. If she could have the job and the fellow she was infatuated with, that would be her preference. Failing that, she decided she'd rather lose the job and be with her family than be alone and maybe or maybe not get the job. For what it's worth, I eventually told her to accept the job if they offered it. I don't think he will though, once he had sex with her, too much career risk from drama and fallout. That was all about a month ago. Since then, she's been the model wife. We're going to counseling, She's done everything that I've asked, she's put up with my various late-night talkathons, she doesn't complain when I don't let her sleep in our bedroom, and she's not made it about her much. She clearly wants things to work now, and I believe her when she says she wants to be with me. At the same time though, I'm still having difficulty just with the physical side of the infidelity, and I'm having a lot of trouble with being plan B. Part of it is my bruised ego, but a very large part is a concern that she wants our relationship now, but what happens in the future? I feel like she's accepted her life and is now gung-ho about making the best of it. What happens down the road though? So, the question in front of me now is what to do? For the last month, I've been bouncing all over, between just digging in and fixing things, to thinking about asking her to leave. For what it's worth, if she leaves, the kiddo almost certainly stays with me. My work gives me the time and ability to be a stay-at-home dad, which is a role I enjoy. My inclination as a father is that I probably have to stay and try to make it work. Kids do best with a mommy and daddy who love and respect each other. If there's still even a remote chance of that happening for the long term, I don't think I can deny my son that chance. I'm hoping, but not convinced, that time will dull some of the raw emotion. TLDR wife cheated on me with her boss. Didn't work out how she expected and now wants our relationship to work.
OP, honestly, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why the hell are you even going to marriage counseling and trying to fix the relationship that your cheating wife destroyed? She was actively trying to find something better, so she decided to fuck her boss, but she got rejected by him, got busted, continued to lie, deny, and cover up. Now that those options are dried up, she has no choice but to act the role of the world's most amazing wife. She's obviously been okay at acting to this point, so I don't know why you'd buy this sudden change of personality. I seriously don't get people like you. She lied over and over again. Who knows what actually happened with the phone call while she was at her mom's? The worst part is, if given the chance, will you actually be able to trust her again in one of these situations? I certainly won't. You are the plan B. That's just the hard truth. So I really don't get why the hell are you still together with your wife? You should have kicked her to the streets, just like what her affair partner did. If you take her back, she will just cheat on you over and over, trying to find the better option. Get out of this relationship right now with some of your dignity intact. Your child will ultimately be okay because he will be raised by you, a decent human being. Don't teach your child how to be a doormat by taking your wife back. You've said it yourself. Kids need a mother and father that love and respect each other to grow up as best as they can be. Well, that's clearly out of the window. Your wife obviously doesn't care, love, or respect you and your son because you two are stifling her, right? Remember that line? Right now, the kid knows something is wrong, no matter how well you think you two are hiding it. They are smarter than you think and a hell of a lot more resilient. They will adapt, and only if you are in a good headspace. You will be on the right path to do that if you get out with your dignity intact. Don't stay with her just to give your son a facade of a healthy relationship, because it's obviously not. It's very toxic. He will do much better with a breakup and separated parents, rather than being around two people who can't trust and respect each other. Think about that, OP. Good luck. Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, Patson, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/surviving infidelity, where OP's wife finally came clean after 13 years that she cheated on her husband. Let's begin. My wife cheated on me 13 years ago and just decided to tell me. Posted by Reddit user HealthySport1098.
So we've been together like 15 years, married for 11. We have 2 kids who are 8 and 13. Our relationship was good up until about 3 years ago, and we've been in a back and forth argument since about 3 years ago. The fights 3 years ago started because she was uncomfortable with me having female friends. However, these female friends were mutual friends we always hung out with. I wasn't like spending time alone with other women, it was always in a group setting. She felt like I was putting her second, I felt like she was overreacting. Any rational person would feel like she was overreacting, including our therapist. This went on for 3 years, and anytime I had any contact with any of our friends' wives, she'd give me a bunch of shit for it. She'd tell me I wasn't respecting her boundaries. This contact with these women could be as simple as conversing with them in our big group text, which my wife is a part of, or liking a Facebook post or something. I'd had enough of this crap like a week ago, and after a fight over me being Facebook friends with a female coworker, I kinda lost it on her. I told her that she was being irrational and that any rational person would agree with me. I told her that she has some serious issues and that she needs to get them worked out. For the next few days, she was having panic attacks and was just really off. She told me that she needed to tell me something and proceeded to tell me that about 6 months after we got together, after a fight we had, she slept with an ex-boyfriend. I told her I needed some time, but that I could probably get past it. The next day she was still having panic attacks. She said that she hadn't been completely transparent. She then proceeded to tell me that the ex-boyfriend's story was completely fabricated. She then told me that 13 years ago, months after our son was born, that she went on her lunch break at work to a coworker's house and had sex with him. She said that she did this because she liked the attention he gave her. We were in a good place in our relationship at that time, and I was giving her plenty of attention. She said that she immediately felt guilty about it and never told me because she didn't want to hurt me. I am not only hurt because she cheated, but also because she kept it a secret for 13 years. I love her, and she loves me, but I just don't know that I can get over it. I guess I'm just looking for advice from an outside perspective. What do y'all think?
OP, first things first, get both of your children tested. I know it may be a little too late to save yourself from the 18 years of child support, but at least you will learn the truth, and it might give you some sort of peace. My guess is that this trickle truth goes much deeper. Chances are high that she slept with this coworker a lot more than just once, and most probably had a lot more affairs that she hasn't revealed yet, including the affair that she had with her ex-boyfriend. She only said it was a lie because she didn't want you to think she was cheating on you left and right. There's no chance of reconciliation after everything she's done to you, OP. She cheated on you, lied to you, betrayed you. She hid this for at least 13 years. Because of that, she robbed you of an informed choice before marrying her, because it should be obvious that you should never marry a cheater. It's a really big red flag that she made up the story about her ex-boyfriend, if it truly was a lie, which I said I doubt. Like, think about the thought process that would lead her to think that. I'm more concerned with why she was having these panic attacks now. It didn't seem to bother her for 13 years, so why is it setting off panic attacks now? Did something interesting happen? Do you know what I think, OP? It's probably yet another man's dick. Panic attacks and extreme paranoia about mutual female friends don't come from nowhere. She did something else recently and is feeling guilty about it. Or she might be thinking that you're doing the exact same shit she is. Another possibility is that one of her affair partner's significant other is digging around, and she knows she's about to be exposed, and that's probably the reason why she maybe came clean about her affair. But I think she's having panic attacks because she's projecting whatever the whole truth is onto you, OP. Your cheating wife is thinking that you're going to do what she did, and the more comfy you talk to your mutual female friends and coworkers, the more she thinks you're going to fuck one of them, and she can't handle what she did to you being done to her. What a classy human being, right? If I were you, OP, I would try to get even more female friends, just to spite your cheating wife. I mean, think about it, OP. You're getting more friends, you're getting some sort of revenge, and someday after the divorce, you may actually get to sleep with one of them or even start a relationship. It's a triple win situation. On a more serious note, She is just trying to tell you the bare minimum to relieve her guilt, minimizing her actions. But in reality, she was probably cheating on you the entire 13 years of your relationship. Again, I suggest that you do a DNA test on both of your children just to be sure, and also be a little petty. Sometimes cheaters feel guilty, especially when the other spouse is a good person. They know that what they did is wrong, and her partner, you, doesn't deserve being cheated on. When the affair is no longer a secret and they don't feel the burden anymore, cheaters tend to reveal just the bare minimum to make it easier to be forgiven, saying it was just a kiss when she was drunk and feeling bad and vulnerable to fall in the claws of the evil affair partner. But in reality, she just can't admit that she wanted to fuck the affair partner for months just because she liked the thrill and didn't care about your vows and your relationship. Whew, holy shit, this turned into a long rant. Anyways, let's move on to today's second story, shall we? My girlfriend is cheating on me with her ex, but she doesn't know that I know. Posted by Reddit user Kiwis and Pasta.
I know because I found them on Reddit. And I've dropped a couple of hints that I know, and I'm not sure if she picked up on it, but she keeps reinforcing how much she loves me and how I'm the only one for her, etc. It just baffles me that she's cheating that strongly, yet she is determined to keep up the lie and make me feel like I'm special to her. Why doesn't she just break up with me? I'm very sad and lonely, and I want to break up, but I just wish she'd admit to it first. Why can't she just admit it? Be honest, be real. I'd be a lot less hurt if she came clean about it rather than keeping up the lie and making me feel pathetic. Why is this happening to me? What did I do to deserve this? Edit. The ironic thing is, I think she does know that I know, but keeps the facade going. She might even be reading this post right now. It's such a weird situation to me. We're both 23, so I guess we're relatively young, but I still thought I had found a real relationship. I'm hurt.
And then, OP posted a short update.
So, I blocked her on everything, no explanation, and it hurt because she was being really sweet to me. But I know it's all fake. Doesn't make it hurt any less that I blocked and I'm ghosting her. But I'll never talk to her again, and she knows why, obviously. She has to. After mulling it over, I figured ghosting her out of the blue and never speaking to her again was better than confronting her. She doesn't need to know that I know. And she wouldn't have given me the answers I needed anyway. Thanks for all of the advice. I read every comment and I had no idea I would get this level of support. It means a lot to me. I'm going to quit using Reddit for a while until I'm healed because I'll impulsively check her posts here. Thanks again for the support.
Usually, this is the part in the video where I give my opinions and advice. But I think this comment exchange between OP and Reddit users Fat Maestro and the one who sums it up really well.
Dude, I would just break up. Who cares if she knows that you know? The fact is that she is cheating on you. You need to get out of that relationship of yours as soon as possible before it causes even more pain and mental suffering for you. You're right. And I know you're right. It's what I advise other people in the same situation. It just hurts and it's hard. I don't get why people lie so blatantly with someone they're supposed to be real with. Some people are bad people. Don't let that mess with you though. If she had some concerns, she could have talked about it or broken up. Give yourself the same advice you'd give to a close friend.
Exactly this, OP. If you're not planning to take revenge, just break up and move on. Dwelling on the pain and heartbreak is not good for you. It's a part of life that eventually you will meet assholes. The life lesson is telling them apart from the good people that, believe it or not, are still out there. Someday, you will eventually meet someone who will truly love and respect you. Just keep improving yourself even more while you wait. I guess ghosting her without explanation could be considered revenge? So in that regard, good job on you, OP, for not becoming a simp. Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, Patson, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/surviving infidelity, where OP's wife of 14 years suddenly wants a divorce. Let's begin. My wife had an affair and wanted a divorce. Posted by Reddit user WW3Angry.
I'm 39, she's 35, married 14 years as of November, 2 kids aged 12 and 4. On December 4th, I pressed her when I realized her going to sleep early without me, being more distant to me. I asked her what was going on. She said she wanted a divorce. This time I knew it was serious. It made sense that she got a car, got a new job on her own, didn't discuss things with me. I didn't know at the time about the affair, but before she said it out of anger. I said days later, this only makes sense if you're cheating on me. She said she had an emotional affair. I asked a little more, and she told me it involved kissing. I was certain it was more than that, of course, but she was gone. She said she loved me, but wasn't in love with me anymore. I knew she was a different person. I saw in hindsight how she got to this point, blinded by my ego. I was not a good husband to her. I didn't love her. She didn't love me in recent months, that ended up leading to the affair. I saw everything, and how I was wrong, and how I made her fall out of love, arguments, not respecting her, not caring about her. She said she didn't want anything from me and wanted to see how I wanted the terms, to do it without lawyers, and I could have the house. A week later, I let her go after I took her phone in the middle of the night. I held it hostage until she told me the PIN. She agreed, she was worried about what I might do. I saw the texting and confirmed what I thought. I was calm now, and I agreed to the divorce. I told her I still want to be friends. And even wanted to be friends with benefits. She liked that idea. I also explored her records, saw that she googled Cash Hotel on December 3rd when she came home late that day. I realized she probably had sex with him that day. I found out who he was. I don't know exactly why or what order I did this in, it's a bit of a blur, but I also let her go on a date with the guy December 17th. We were having hot, passionate divorce sex all the time. She said there will be a time when she has sex with him, and then the friends with benefits thing will have to end. She also told me if I had sex with someone else, let her know, because that too should end our divorce sex. We explored and experimented sexually in ways we wouldn't have if we were married. Along the lines before Christmas, still convinced our marriage was over and regretful for the way I have been as a husband, I was in self-destruct mode. I was heading to the abyss. I knew where I was going. I was also suicidal. In any case, I started reading about how to win a wife back that didn't love you, that cheated on you. I got useful tips and told her, I don't really want to do this, I'm going to try to win you back. I told her all the ways I wronged her, that she didn't realize I knew. She seemed surprised and frustrated by this, as she thought I would be happy it was over. This was December 21st. I told her, I'm going to fight to win you back, you can choose between me or him, of course, I'm okay with whatever you choose, I just want you to be happy, as I knew I didn't make her happy. I was okay with that. Me, as a guy, I was content with living with a woman without true love. Sex was always there, but that deep connection was not. But I realized then that I did love her. I regretted what I did to her. She was sexier than ever, partially because she had to dress better and wear makeup with her new position, where she met the guy, plus she was exercising more. She was more beautiful than at any point in our marriage, and I didn't realize it until then. I was falling in love with her. I saw her beauty inside and out, how I hurt her, how she became a stronger and more confident person over the past few months, and I was falling in love with her in a deeper level than ever. I figured she was worth getting heartbroken over twice. I told her I consider us divorced, regardless of the legality. She did too. We still lived together the whole time this happened, although she was looking for an apartment. During this beginning process of me being a better man for her, she told me that the guy was married with kids. I told her she should stop because it's wrong. She understood. I knew it wasn't going to work out with him, I told her. She didn't yet, or didn't want to admit it. Every day the next day, I did the things I never did for her as a husband, showed her appreciation, grace, love. I told her, at times, when she felt that this was too much pressure, I said I didn't mean to. I don't want any pressure. I also said, at least let me show our kids how a real man should act to his wife. I continued this since we have had sex all the time as well. We have had some of the best conversations together in the past month than we ever had before, about anything. I was still under the impression that she may not have had sex with him, may have, but leaning more towards sex, but December 3rd, the day of the hotel, I wasn't sure if she got it. She searched for it, came home about 2 hours late because of a meeting, which is what she told me on December 3rd. Either way, I knew she was with him that time. I never brought it up, but I told her at times I knew more than she thought I knew. I also understood her not wanting to tell me, who would? Checking on about the guy, I had his number from the night I got my wife's phone, texted him that I would ruin him and his family if he continues talking to her. A week or so later, he tells her that he respects me, that he doesn't want to be a homewrecker. I sensed that she was hurt by this, as she still had feelings for him. I asked occasionally about the other guy, about a couple weeks ago. I said, "Did you love him?" She said she thought she did. I said, "That's a very good honest look at yourself, it shows your maturity, and that I find that sexy." December 14th, I feel that she is starting to fall for me. I feel it, she feels it. I am romancing her in ways I never could have before, she is appreciative and respected. 1 week ago, she confessed she is in love with me. That she didn't want to tell me because she didn't want to be vulnerable again after a few years of me destroying our relationship. To me it was too soon, but I always have known her to somewhat fall in love fairly quickly. But after all, I did it myself, with her, just before Christmas. She said she knew it a week earlier, December 14th. In the past couple years, she had been talking about getting our vows renewed. Clueless blind me of course shrugged it off and wasn't interested. I told her, now would be the time, if you want to do that, when you're ready, if we can make this work, as I fight for you. I told her that a week, after trying so hard with her, and it has been hard, but also natural. She is always on my mind now, something I haven't experienced before. I know I too have been always on her mind, for the past few weeks, since she has fallen for me. She told me 3 days ago she wanted to talk to me, but wasn't sure if she was moving too fast. I knew it was about renewing our vows, but told her it's okay. She said, just because I talk about it doesn't mean I want it now. I understood, of course. I don't want to do it now either, it's too early. I have built trust of her myself back up because we blocked his number together after she confessed she was in love with me again. She eagerly agreed, it seems. We talked and it was good. She said she still felt very guilty over the thing. I told her not to be, I want to help. I said maybe talking about everything with me, as to what you did, is a good way to forgive yourself, so I can forgive you. I said, earlier, I forgive her for everything she may have done, I get it. Which I did mean. Because she brought up feeling guilty, I took it as I should ask her about the hotel. I knew she never knew what I knew. After telling her I have a question, I asked her, so what did you do at the hotel? She laid there in bed, not moving. Tears rolled down her cheeks. She shut down. Moved away from me. We were no longer in the place we have been the past 2 weeks, in loving embrace and talking to each other freely. I said, babe, you're stronger than this. Please open up to me. She did not. I told her, I asked her because she said I was still the only one she was with. I thought she said, no we aren't, as a response, but wasn't sure as she was quiet, which didn't make sense, but I took it as her trying to admit it. I left the house to go for a drive. She didn't respond. I texted her that I'm assuming sex happened and that I believe I needed this to trust her to fully love her. I sent her many texts explaining why. After 20 minutes, I came home. She texted me, when are you coming home? I didn't see it until later though. I found her in the bathroom, shut down still. I told her I don't want you to feel guilty, I was trying to help, I don't always know what to do. We talked more in bed, and I made her laugh, eventually leading to sex. Afterwards I asked her a little more, I told her she all but confirmed it. She said she will never tell me what happened and that I'm just going to have to accept that. I told her I have to think about this, we went to sleep. The next morning, I told her I believe she is right, love is all that I need from her to accept these terms. I know it's hard for her, I know she regrets it, and because I love her, I've tried to make her move beyond her guilt. Remember, she was the one wanting the divorce. I have won her back to a place we haven't ever been as of now. It's been a month of this greatest love I have ever experienced, she has said so too. But since then, I'm concerned because when we were friends with benefits, she said she would let me know if she had sex because she didn't admit to having sex or having oral or whatever else would have happened in the hotel room. This was Monday, January 21st. Yesterday I did my usual routine and had a genuinely great day again. We exchanged Valentines, she called me her warrior for fighting for her, I signed mine, her warrior of love. We laughed and embraced each other over it. We had a great night, with the kids making Valentines, and of course in bed. I woke up today thinking that she had sex with the guy. I realized it's better than waking up thinking we are over. I forgive her for it, but I'm still not sure what to think still. Any advice on your impression of her and me would be greatly appreciated right now. I'm not where I was 3 days ago before this conversation, and maybe she isn't either, but we are still in a very good spot. I have some questions about the future and my ability to sustain. She scares the hell out of me a little bit, but she should. I believe a man should always treat their wife like they're dating. I regret how wrong I was. She regrets how wrong she was. Prognosis, doctors of love. Today we are very different people from who we married originally. We are looking at this, and I told her today, it's like you may become my second wife. She laughed. I think it is the way to look at this situation. We're new people, we have to get to know each other all over again. There are things I appreciate about her that I didn't before: her sense of humor, her passion, her sensitivity, her sensuality, her romantic heart.
Okay, so let me summarize this a little bit, OP. She cheated on you over and over with this guy. She lied to your face about it repeatedly. When you confronted her about the hotel incident, she basically told you to fuck off. All of that. And what did you do again, OP? You took the approach of a simp and started groveling, begging, kissing her ass, and doing every little thing she wanted while she continued to cheat on you. Yep, that's definitely the best decision to make. Look, OP, her plan A, the affair partner, only fell through because you scared him off. So she figured she might as well stick it out with plan B, you, until the next plan A comes along. I think that about sums it up. Did I miss anything? I really can't imagine how you have to live the rest of your life to keep her with you. Do everything she wants, sacrifice yourself and your needs, toe the line 100%, or she cheats again. That's rough. And I really want to give you some support, but I'm sorry. I just can't. Your choices? I just don't agree with them. I'm gonna be blunt, OP. It sounds like you're someone who don't want to let go despite the obvious reasons to. You also gave her cake on a silver platter. She now knows she can do whatever she wants because you're her warrior of love, right? You will always fight for her love and honor. OP, you lost the minute you thought you had to win her back, and that you actually think that your lack of whatever pushed her to have an affair. Listen, my dude, let's just say that you indeed had been a crappy and neglectful husband to your wife. Do you know what she should have done in that situation? Talk to you. Inform you that you being distant is making her unhappy. If that didn't work, then divorce is the next obvious answer, not fucking another guy. Communication is one key to any successful relationship. Marital issues require good communications to fix the problems that you are experiencing individually and as a couple. It's good that you are working on your personal issues, but don't do it for your wife. Do it for yourself and the next person you will be in a relationship with, making sure that they won't feel unloved or neglected. Your wife, on the other hand, she should have communicated her needs to you first before having an affair and immediately calling for divorce. It appears you feel good about things. Yes, I understand. But her obvious lies and the fact that she so quickly jumped into an affair are troubling, to say the least. I don't think you are in as good of a shape as you think you are. You definitely need some counseling, OP. The reality here is that what you're doing is unsustainable. You and your marriage will regress if you keep this up. You're just prolonging your pain and opening yourself to another heartbreak when she cheats on you again, warrior of love. Aside from you putting on a show for her, nothing has really been addressed in your marriage. So just end the fucking thing already. Get a divorce and start moving on. It will be much better for you and your kids. Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, Patson, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/cheating stories, where OP discovered his cheating wife's affair in the worst way possible. Let's begin. My wife, the sex worker. Posted by Reddit user My Relation Account 2020.
My ex and I met in college. She was the most beautiful girl I had ever seen. She always had a crowd of guys following her around. I had some classes with her over the 4 years, but I never pursued her because, well, all the other guys. One day after class, she asked if I would study with her, and the rest is history. So we married. Starting our careers in the same industry, different companies. A male-dominated industry. I found immediate success while she struggled. She changed jobs in the first year. She continued to struggle. In the third year, she became pregnant with our first son. She worked through the pregnancy. A few weeks after giving birth, in a routine physical, her doctor asked to do a biopsy of her cervix. The results came back as precancerous cells were found. The doctor advised, if we wanted more children, to do it as quick as possible, as this will progress and a hysterectomy will be needed eventually. So when she was up to it, she became pregnant again. She gave birth again to a boy within a year of each other. Afterward, more tests were done, and different doctors advised to do the procedure now as we should not wait. With 2 babies still infants, she had her procedure done. She was heartbroken that she was done having children as we had wanted a large family. She poured herself into being a great mother, and she was. She became a stay-at-home mom. She took care of everything at home. Meanwhile, my career was moving along. I was offered a position with another company with a large salary bump. Life is good. When the boys went off to school, she volunteered at school and was a fixture there. I should mention that we had close friends we went to school with. And B. We saw each other often. They started their family about the time we did. They have 1 son. The families went on vacations together, dinner, outings, we were best of friends. After the son was born, the mother went back to work and is very successful. B had a good job also until about 2001, where his job was eliminated. He struggled to find work in his field as the economy back then really affected his field. So, the decision was he would be a stay-at-home dad while looking for work where we lived, as they did not want to move. The ex and B did things together with kids. When the kids were all in school, they still hung out. You can now guess they had an affair. This story I know is long, but not over. After about a year of this hot sex in the morning, B asked ex if she and I had ever talked about a threesome. It was all fantasy talk with us, as we were still having a great, if not slowing down, sexual relationship. B had a friend he wanted to bring into the bedroom with them. The ex agreed. The day came and this guy, C, came over to B's house. He took his suit off as ex, and B got warmed up. So, they had their threesome. Afterward, the guy told them that he usually had to pay for sex, so he left a couple $100 bills and asked ex if he could have a one-on-one with ex. She told him she needed to think about that and B would get back to him. Eventually, C recommended someone else and a business was born. Eventually, B was re-employed and had to leave ex on her own. She used a different cell phone. She rented out a storage unit and made it her closet and office. She used the money to buy outfits her clientele requested. She even bought a car. She did not want her minivan spotted at a hotel. The guys had to pay for a room at a nice hotel. She kept the car at the storage unit. Everything was in cash. She never brought the money into our lives that I know of. Though we would send the kids to different day camps during summer. She claimed she tightened up our budget to pay for it. She only worked during school hours. She always picked the boys up at school. On a few rare occasions, B would pick them up and keep them until she got home. Our home life never suffered. I admit I was working a ton and moving up the ladder. The weekends were our family time. Sex was generally on the weekends. I thought because of my work life, this worked best. Most nights we would cuddle on the couch watching TV. Almost done, 2016 comes along. We have 1 son in college, the other is senior in high school. I get a call from BX is in the hospital. He was vague, but said she is hurt bad. I rush to the hospital, my wife is hooked to a bunch of machines. They have already cleaned her up and taken her for x-rays. She has a broken jaw, broken nose, fractured orbital bone, possible concussion. She will make it, but will be a long road ahead. A police officer was finishing up and left. I of course want to know what happened. She was crying, talking gibberish through her sobs and pain meds. A nurse said I should let her rest. They were moving her to a room soon. She handed me a bag with her clothes. I looked in and asked if these were hers. Because she never wears heels and the dress was unfamiliar. The nurse said this is what they brought from the hotel room. So, they pushed me out of the room. I called my sons to let them know. Later that night, when the fog of the drugs was wearing off, I got some of the story. She drifted off again. I had my youngest son sit in with her. And I called B. Why did he call me? How did he know before me? What's going on? So, B came clean about what my wife was up to, leaving out the affair and his involvement. I was devastated. We eventually get her home after surgery on her jaw. The nose would wait. She convalesced at home. As she got stronger, I got the whole story. I called A and told of the affair and B is a pimp. She threw B out. As she got on her feet, I told her we were done. I asked her to move out. She moved in with B. I got the divorce rolling. I am sitting here 5 years divorced. I still love her. It is as if she had died. The grief is unbearable. My boys know what she did. I have not spoken to her since she left.
So if you gentlemen are wondering how OP's ex was sent to the hospital, OP told in the comments that one of her clients got upset, so she got her ass kicked and raped. His ex didn't want to press charges because it would have exposed what she was doing. I guess OP's ex-wife didn't want her reputation ruined. Speaking of reputation, OP also said that he didn't expose his ex-wife to her friends and family, which I completely disagree with. Who knows what ridiculous lies that woman has been telling everyone just to save face. OP should have exposed her secret. She should face the consequences of her actions. She cheated on OP with hundreds of men for over 15 years. And his best friend was her pimp, which I honestly believe should be in jail. OP's ex getting beat up was just one of the results of her stupid decisions, and the time has finally come for her to pay the price. Another thing I don't understand is why OP's sons are still in contact with their mother. If I learned that my mother has repeatedly cheating on my father without remorse, that would have been enough reason to cut contact forever. OP, my dude, I really do feel for you. That is a really fucked up thing to go through. I can only imagine your pain. You hate your ex for the terrible shit she has done to you, but you still love her. And that's normal. That is a common feeling that a lot of victims of infidelity has gone through. She would have probably left you eventually anyway. If you think about it, she's probably only staying with you because you make good money and was paying her bills. I doubt there was anything you could have done or changed. Your wife is just a really horny bitch, but she was smart enough to make a business out of it. There is no law to say that you have to stop loving someone even if they have hurt you. That's true. It's just really stupid to do so. Now I guess we can move on to OP's first update.
I originally posted a few weeks ago. You can check my profile. I did not update as there really was not anything to say. Until last night. I received a call from my oldest son, R, who is out of town for the holiday weekend. A friend called him to tell him his brother, S, had been in a motorcycle accident. He was with him, but did not see the accident as he was riding ahead. I rushed to the hospital ER. They were cleaning S and were sending him for x-rays. I was told to have a seat and the doctor would be out. A few minutes later, as I had my head leaning back and my eyes closed, I heard my name. I look up and my ex is standing in the doorway. She asked for news. I said I was waiting. She asked if she could sit with me. I invited her to a seat near me. I have not seen her in 5 years since the divorce happened. I did not know what to expect. I assumed that she would be disfigured from her beating. She was not, although her face was not as flawless as I remember. The one thing I did see was that her eyes no longer sparkled. This was a feature I never got enough of. Even with the mask on, her eyes did not look the same. Funny, what you notice? When she smiled, her face used to just light up. I imagine she just has a resting bitch face now. Anyway, while waiting we had a nervous catching up talk. She mentioned she liked the landscaping I did and how the plants, now matured, really look nice. This tells me she has been by the house, where I have no idea where she lives, and my sons were told never to mention her to me. During and after the divorce, I tried to purge any remembrance of her. I replaced the bushes in the yard, as it was something she had planned and planted. I did not mention that the inside of the house was redone also. I even ripped out a wall. I had a construction dumpster in the driveway for many months. She asked how I was doing. I don't know why, but I was honest that I had put myself at a standstill by working too much. However, I recently have been to a therapist and joined a gym. I also have taken up bike riding. She volunteered that she no longer just left it there unsaid. She stayed with B for a couple of months. She also was seeing a counselor who encouraged her to take some college courses in her degree field. That took a couple years. She is now employed full-time. She said she has dated minimally, leaving the statement open for me to answer. I figured the boys were keeping her up to date on me, so I had nothing to add. The doctor appeared and discussed the extent of injuries. The most serious was to his foot, an ankle pinned under the bike when it went down. They had scheduled him for surgery today. Everything is good, he just needs to heal and rehab. So, he will be in until at least tomorrow depending on his head injury, slight concussion. I offered my house to stay as I have the room and can work from home. We will finalize that today, although that means his mother will want to visit. That will be a healing process for me.
Take your time, OP. Check your feelings. Just baby steps, you know? It's okay to be cordial and polite to someone despite the pain they put you through. You're just being the better person. Not to mention that you may need the extra help to take care of your son. I figured that you got this. You sound like a mature and level-headed person. Just give her a guest room or even just a couch and keep your emotional distance. You never know if she might want to crawl back into your life. So I highly suggest that if your ex lives in your area or somewhere near it, just ask her to leave every night and drop by again in the morning. Because I certainly don't want to live with my cheating ex, especially knowing that they had fucked literal hundreds of men. Now for OP's second update.
My son is healing well. He still has a way to go. We have decided he will stay here while convalescing. He wants to go back to work next week. His boss is setting up something so he can work from home. I barely get him in the back seat of my SUV as he has to stretch out. It would be a nightmare driving him to work and back every day. Everyone has been asking about the ex coming over. I leave when she comes. I go to the gym or a bike ride. My oldest son has tried to have a sit-down dinner with the four of us, but I shut it down. She has been very gracious. She has not tried to force anything. She comes over and sits with our son. She will cook dinner for them. She brings groceries when she does cook. Sometimes his friends come over and it gets a bit rowdy for me, but he forgets about his problem when there are visitors. To say we never talk would be untrue. Our conversations do not stray from our sons or their lives.
Be very careful, OP. It sounds like she really is trying to slither her way back into your life, and your oldest son might be supporting her. You're making a smart move by leaving the house when she arrives. That way, she has zero opportunity to try and trick you. Also, I just wanted to say you're one damn good father. I hope both your children follow your example. I know it won't mean a lot coming from some random fucker on YouTube, but I just want to let you know that I really respect you and your convictions. I still don't agree with you not exposing her secret to friends and family, but hey, to each their own, right? But for now, it's time to listen to your final update.
This will be my last update. My son is healing nicely, the doctor says. He has a way to go with physical therapy. He is hobbling around. Still at my house. Working from home. I have returned to the office to give him some space. Now the ex has started what many of you have said. She is doing little things around the house. My son is not all that tidy. So, she is cleaning after him, doing his dishes. She will make a meal for him and always leaves a plate for me. I tell my son that can be his lunch the next day. She asked me the other night if I would be interested in going out to dinner tonight as my son has some friends coming over. I told her no. A little later she mentioned us getting a meal just to clear the air. Again, I told her no. I finally said we ended long ago because of your actions. It took me a long time to get over what was lost. I do not intend to revisit a relationship with you. She said okay. She understood where we stand. I did say I did not have a problem with her coming over to visit our son until he gets back to his place. I thanked her for cleaning up, but it's not necessary. Thank you all for the encouragement and kind words, but I will make it through this. My heart is hardened.
Yep, a true gentleman right here. As suspected, she tried to reconcile with you, thinking that you will probably be simping for her. Let's be honest here, she's probably approaching her 50s, a former prostitute, has a history of cheating, and has a body count in the hundreds. If she starts dating again, yep, she will definitely be scraping the very bottom of that barrel. No self-respecting man will even consider dating a woman with her history. I'm impressed. You basically told her to fuck off while being polite about it. Good job, OP. Much respect. Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, Patson, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/cheating stories, where OP saw a video of his wife with another man. So hold on to your Dragon Balls, because this is a long one. Let's begin. My wife cheated. I'm so angry that I'm scared of myself. Posted by Reddit user KeyNebula8048.
So, I am a bit lost, been about 2 weeks since I found out, I've been suspicious for a while, lots of red flags, but nothing definite. I decided to confront her and her reaction, irrational anger. How can I accuse her of something like that? She would never cheat. Made me sure. I snooped on her phone and computer, but couldn't find anything, so I bought some small cameras and placed them around the house. Then I went to visit some friends over the weekend. I grew up in Norway close to the Swedish border. I met my wife in Sweden. I was 20, she was 21, and she had a 3-year-old kid when we met. We hit it off, and I have been that kid's dad for the last 11 years. I love that guy. I consider him my son. We have been married for 6 years, not that it matters. Long story short, I went home early when I knew she wouldn't be there and watched the footage. Sure enough, there she was, doing adult stuff with another guy. I recognized him as a work colleague, Theodore. We were friendly with him and his wife. I used to believe seeing red was just a figure of speech, but I was seeing red. I have never been that angry. I am actually a very mellow guy. I never really get angry, but I just lost it. I hit the walls. I kicked the bedroom door so hard it flew off its hinges and smashed the glass table we had in a living room. I bit the inside of my cheek. I didn't even notice. But when I screamed, I sprayed the wall and floor with blood. At some point, I managed to hit my head pretty hard, and that snapped me out of it. I looked at the carnage, and I knew I just had to get out of there. Had my wife walked in at that point, I think I would be in jail. In the best case scenario for domestic violence, and in the worst case for murder. I quickly packed a suitcase with essentials and my laptop. I work with simulation and modeling, and my computer is custom, and I need that to do my job. I sent a copy of the video to Theodore's wife. I didn't really write anything in the message apart from, "Your husband is cheating with my wife." I met my son just outside our apartment complex. I gave him a hug, told him I would always love him, but that his mother was cheating on me, so I had to leave. I really regret telling him. He shouldn't be burdened with that, but I wasn't really myself at the time, and it just came out of me. I went to the border. I wanted to go see my family in Norway, but they didn't want to let me cross due to COVID. I've been renting a cheap Airbnb. I'm working, but I'm like a zombie. I haven't talked to my wife. The only person I have responded to is my son. He's been asking me questions. I've been honest with him as far as possible, that I don't know what is going to happen next, apart from divorce. I've been trying to find a good lawyer. I've received hundreds of messages from my wife and her part of the family. I haven't responded to any of it. My parents are the only ones that know in my side as far as I know. I don't want to talk to my friends because they are friends with my wife as well, so I don't really have good support at the moment. I'm afraid that if I talk to her or see her again, I will lose it and do something I can't take back. I also don't want to lose contact with my son, but I have no idea where to even start. I am still boiling with rage, and I don't know how to get past that. I need to respond to my wife at some point, but I'm so angry that I don't think I'm capable of being rational. I just wanted to try to write this out and see if that helps. So far, I would say it's made no difference at all.
Before we get to today's commentary, I want you guys to listen to this comment exchange between OP and Reddit user 33 say what 33.
What is she saying in the texts? It's all over the place, from "I am sorry, it only happened once, please come home" to "it's actually your fault."
Yup, this is a classic in the cheater playbook. blaming the victim for their shitty behavior, gaslighting them, make him think he is the problem. So how exactly was this OP's fault? Did OP strip her down for the affair partner and put her on top of him? Did OP push his wife and she fell into the affair partner's dick? I hate it when cheaters blame the spouse. If there was something missing from the marriage or you supposedly not making enough time for sex or affection, they should just communicate that to you. If that didn't work, just get a fucking divorce. End of story. OP's wife is just a piece of shit human being for doing this. OP, don't let her make you think that it's your fault. Because it's not. So sorry this happened to you. I don't advise you doing this, but if you really want to, then try to see if you can get some kind of visitation rights with your stepson. Try to get some therapy in as well if you can. It will really help with the heartbreak and rage you're feeling. You did well on exposing her affair to her son and the affair partner to his wife. Now finish the job and tell the rest of their friends and family. Do it now before she starts spreading some ridiculous lie. Get a lawyer and go no contact. Now, let's listen to OP's first update.
I'm doing better. I actually visited a cage fighting club. I should really stress that I do not know how to fight at all. I am not really in great shape. The few times that I ended up in a fight in my youth, I've had my ass beaten badly. I talked to them and explained the situation. They were actually really friendly and eager to help. First, they made me work out for 2 hours, and when that didn't take the edge of my anger, they put me in the ring with a very experienced fighter. It was clear he was really gentle with me, and even though I did my best, I didn't even give him a workout. It's pretty clear he let me punch and kick him, but he easily blocked whatever I threw at him. The few times I managed to land a blow with a little bit of force, he was quick to give me a smack back. Since I have no clue what I'm doing, his gentle taps slapped me around hilariously. He would always ask if I was okay before proceeding again. He even apologized a few times for hitting me during our little session when he thought he had maybe hit me too hard. Imagine that, apologizing for hitting the opponent in a fight. He clearly didn't see me as an opponent at all. I doubt he would see me as a threat ever. I have a newfound respect for people that know how to fight, and I am determined to learn it. These guys were the most chill people I have ever met. I want to be as calm as them. My little fight helped a lot. It really took the edge off. I don't have that burning anger. I am still pissed, but now it's manageable. I will go back for training and more beatings. Still, I don't rush myself to meet my wife. I have talked to my son. I told him that no matter what we would be okay. I consider him my son, no matter what happens between his mother and me. I think he really appreciated that. I have talked to a few common friends and her parents. Apparently my wife has become sort of unglued. She's been calling and talking to everyone at all hours, day and night. She has apparently been confessing everything to almost everyone and even offering money to anyone that's going to put her in touch with me. I was considering only speaking to my wife via a lawyer, but I can't afford that, so I've asked my cousin to act as a go-between. I gave her a few questions to put forward, so we see where it goes from there. I plan to contact the affair partner's wife next week as well. Some Redditors strongly suggested that I talk to my wife and tell her that if I can adopt my son, I will consider reconciliation. But I would never do that. I will not use my son as a pawn in anything ever. As things stand now, I would love to adopt him, but only if he asks me to, and only if I am sure it's what he wants and that he isn't influenced or pressured by anyone. I will get through this, I think. I have received so much good advice on here. I feel like I have a plan now to move forward with.
I highly suggest that you talk to a lawyer first about the adoption, OP. Maybe the laws are different in your country, but that could get you in on child support. Your soon-to-be ex-wife is someone who could turn nasty and try to drag you to court repeatedly to get child support. Take your time and keep going to the gym. It sounds like it's a great outlet for you. You're letting your intelligence guide you. I really respect that. You're facing some of the most difficult things a married man could face, and yet here you are, standing strong. One more thing. To the people that suggested using the kid and his adoption as a tool for reconciliation, go fuck yourself. Now for OP's second update.
I'm sorry it's been radio silence, I've had my hands full since my last post. I see a lot of questions in my personal messages, so I figured it's easier just to make this update. I started calling my son twice per day after my last post. He would always tell me everything was okay, but I guess it really wasn't. I was focusing on trying to get myself under control. I started going to individual counseling, that helped some. But what really changed things is when I went to try boxing. The first place I visited was kind of grimy and rundown. Still, the 5 guys that were there seemed to have this amazing camaraderie going on. And I really wanted in on that. I wanted to belong there badly. They all told me I had to talk to the old man. He was the owner of the place, apparently. He decided who could join or not. They all had a lot of respect for him, so I was kind of apprehensive. Let's just say that the old man has an abrasive personality. To begin with, he just listened, but once he started talking, I was quickly getting more and more agitated. There wasn't anything I can really put my finger on. Everything he said was true, and maybe that's what angered me, or maybe it was the tone. Like every question or sentence was an accusation of sorts. The old man made me feel like I was not good enough to become a member of his club, and I suddenly found myself in a position of arguing with him for him to let me prove that I was worthy. I still haven't figured out if he is just an asshole or some kind of genius. That said, the old man has really affected my life in a very positive way, even though he is very uncomfortable to be around. I am starting to see why people have such respect and admiration for him. The old man has helped me understand why I was so angry and how to think more clearly moving forward. It's a story in itself, but this is already getting long, so back to the main issue. A few days after my post, about 20 minutes after I had talked to my son, he called me back. He was crying, and he apologized for lying to me. He lied when he said everything was okay at home. He went on to tell me that my wife was just sitting in front of the TV, staring at it even if he turned it off. He didn't have any food to eat, the house smells, and the only thing he had eaten in the last 2 days was some sandwiches a friend's mother had made for him when he visited. Of course, I immediately rushed home. I could smell the rotten garbage in the hallway, even before I got in the door. The house was an absolute filthy mess. It clearly hadn't been cleaned since I left almost a month ago. The floor were covered in crumpled up sheets of paper, overflowing dirty dishes in the sink. Broken glass on the floor. Rotten garbage smell, absolutely disgusting. I went to check on my son first. I had picked up a burger for him on the way over. I asked him to stay in this room and eat while I go and talk to his mom. I assured him everything would be okay. I was home. I was going to take care of him. He cried and hugged me for a bit before I went to check on his mother. That hug felt so good. I had missed him so much. I am never leaving him again. My wife sat staring at the screen like my son had described it to me. What he didn't tell me was how terrible she looked. She had lost a terrifying amount of weight. She was just skin and bones. Her eyes were sunk into her head, dark rings, lifeless skin, cracked lips, messy dirty hair, filthy clothes. I grabbed a chair and set myself down between her and the TV. The smell coming off her was absolutely terrible. There was a bucket on the floor, later found out it was half full of a week-old vomit. I felt a deep pain for her. I wanted to protect her, help her, make her better. For a while, I completely forgot what she had done. Seeing her like this was really painful for me. I guess in some ways, I still love and care for her, despite what she has done. That fact kind of terrifies me. Something is wrong with me too, I think. I didn't know what to say to her, to be honest. She was clearly not all there. She actually asked me if I was real. When I said yes, she broke down crying in a way I've never seen anyone cry before. Her crying, or wailing, is probably a better word, was so loud it sort of startled me. Without warning, mid-scream she either fell asleep or passed out. I put my Fitbit on her arm because I don't really know how to take someone's pulse. Her heart rate was varied up and down between 100 to 150, so I figured that's probably not good. I made sure she was in a comfortable position on the sofa, and I wiped the snot of her face before I ran and asked our neighbor for help. They were happy to look after our son while I took her to the hospital. She has been there for 7 days now, I think. I'm a bit blurry on the days, to be honest. I have visited once, but she got so upset from seeing me that the doctors recommended that I don't visit for now. They have no diagnosis for her yet, and they have no idea of when, or even if she will come out of it. I have been focusing on taking care of my son since I have made sure he has regular individual counseling, and he looks like he is doing better now. There is no doubt he has been traumatized by this. I am drowning in guilt for my part in causing him this pain. I have been in contact with a lawyer to try to get custody rights for obvious reasons. I don't know how that will work out. I have also prepared for divorce, but I am holding off for the time being. It took us several days to clean the house. I decontaminate the fridge with bleach and still it smelled like rotten food, so I actually had to get a new one. I also found that my wife had taken all my dirty laundry into bed and made a body shape of it. It had some additions to make it look anatomically correct, and it's kind of disturbing to be honest. I looked through all her papers that she left all over the house. It's incoherent nonsense for the most part. Some pages have dates and times. I can't understand most of it, apart from some pages that have long lines of sorry, sorry, sorry written on it. Most pages with text just transition into a wiggly line in the middle of a sentence. I don't know what to do. My anger is completely gone, replaced by sadness of the situation and for the trauma and pain inflicted on my son. I feel bad for my wife, but I also understand why I was angry and how I have changed to deal with the pain. I have left a huge piece of myself behind, and she caused that. I don't know if I have it in me to forgive that. A big part of my personality was being a good husband and provider for a long time. That part of me was mortally wounded by her affair. I left that part of me behind. It was just too painful to keep. It's too early to say anything about where we end up, as for now all avenues are open. I am still hurting and confused. I will just continue to try to rebuild my self-esteem and my self-image of my masculinity. If my wife comes out of it, I will talk to her and see where I go from there. Right now, I need to focus on my son. I need to make sure he is okay.
Holy shit, this sounds so over the top. It sounds like a plot to an anime, to be honest. But let's just assume that this story actually happened, okay? So, OP, if it takes abusing a loving partner's trust, neglecting your son, having a mental breakdown, and getting institutionalized for someone to learn to appreciate and not cheat on your partner, yeah, I think that's plenty of reasons to divorce. Why the hell are you hesitating? This entire situation is manufactured from her own stupid decisions, and you shouldn't have to foot the bill in caring for her or dealing with the emotional instability she's going through. It was all her choice, so stop taking responsibility for it, OP. Look, your life belongs to you, and you deserve better than being tied to someone who could do the things she put you and her son through. That's just a toxic relationship, OP. Stay the fuck away from it. I guess we can move on to OP's third update.
Update 3. I have some questions. Maybe you can help me shine some light on this from different angles. If you're going to post in the comments to just divorce, don't bother. I will simply ignore you. I know that in the end, whatever happens is my choice, so I will choose what is right for me and my family, whatever I decide that to be in the future. I haven't been sleeping much, and I am a bit dazed, so if I ramble a bit, please bear with me. I really appreciate all the different perspectives you gave. It really helps me think things through. The wife is still in the hospital. She is refusing to allow anyone to see her apart from her mother. The only instructions she has given, apart from no visitors, is that no one is to talk to me on her behalf or try to pressure me in any way. She has confessed cheating to just about everybody, but not in any detail. Her calls have been panicked along the lines of, "I cheated, he is going to leave me, what do I do?" So, people have been pretty much leaving me alone, unless I have called them to ask for their help or opinion. My wife has written me a letter. Her mother handed over to me a few days ago. It is long, 32 pages. I will try to summarize the main points here. She apologized for what she's done to me, her son, and us. She says she will sign any paper I put in front of her, no questions asked. Post-nup, divorce papers, whatever. She also confesses to a 2-month emotional affair with another man online before the current affair started that turned physical. I didn't know about this at all, so I believe she is being honest. Her confession is very detailed, and she has given me all her login credentials to everything to confirm that she is honest and not hiding anything. She freely admits that she was captivated by the attention and the excitement, but she seems genuinely confused that she allowed any of this to actually transpire. I believe what she has written is the truth. Emails, messages, call logs, etc. backs her story up, and she has also pointed me to a thumb drive hidden in one of her drawers that contained a diary going back almost 10 years. Her diary and her letter seem to be in perfect sync from what I have read so far. She explains that the first emotional affair online was more of a game than anything else, flirting only. No sexting or meetup. It went on until suddenly one day, she felt compelled to send this guy a message. She immediately ended it then. She couldn't find the courage to tell me, but according to the diary she was trying. When the main affair started, she was flattered and given a huge ego boost from this guy giving her attention. He is a very handsome guy, model type, and I have met his wife, and she is absolutely stunning. 10 out of 10, jaw-droppingly beautiful. My wife's ego rush got addictive, it seems. Getting attention from this beautiful guy that was married to such a beautiful woman gave her a huge boost. She felt like she must be very special to outcompete his beautiful wife for affair partner's attention. She admits she knew what she was doing was wrong, but she's also seems genuinely confused that she was unable to stop herself. She hates herself for losing control. If I understand this correctly, the affair only turned physical once the affair partner started to lose interest in her. She started using sex to keep him interested, to keep him giving her attention. From the diary, the sex seems to be more of a chore for her. She doesn't seem to enjoy it, she does it just to get more attention, like it's a reward she gives him for that. It's clear she is struggling with guilt, especially in the beginning, but she soon starts to compartmentalize this. But of course, we drifted apart and our relationship suffers while she does this. The affair was physical for 4 weeks, and they kissed and fooled around with intercourse 5 times according to her diary and her confession. This is backed up with her location data and credit card bills for hotels, etc. The rest is history that you already know. Her letter concludes with the following. I don't know who the person was that had the affair, or at least I don't recognize myself doing it. I don't understand how I could so easily abandon my beliefs and my morals and hurt the people in my life that I love more than anything. I don't know why I wasn't able to stop myself. I will not insult you by asking you to understand or forgive me, because I don't deserve understanding or forgiveness. My only hope is that I can be helpful in some way to help you and our son heal. I will do anything you ask of me, without question. I will do anything if you think it might help in any way, no matter how big or small. I will live with my mother once I am released from here. I will stay away unless you ask for me. I don't want to remind you with my presence of the pain I have caused both of you. I don't have the words to tell you how sorry I am for what I did, and my greatest wish is that you heal and find someone worthy of your love that you can be happy with. I pray I haven't permanently destroyed your ability to trust and love someone deserving in the future. I will not be with anyone else because I'm clearly not safe to be with. I will seek therapy to try to find and perhaps one day cure what is wrong with me, but as of today, I don't really know who I am or why I couldn't stop myself from doing these things. I knew what I did was wrong, that I was hurting everyone, myself included, but I did it anyway. I was selfish. I caused all of this just so I could feel a little better about myself for a brief moment. Once I saw the pain on your face, on the camera you left behind in the bedroom. The heartbreaking pain on your face while you were watching the tape with me and the other man. At that moment, I realized how delusional I am and how terrible and evil I had become. I am afraid there is no salvation for me. I will always love you. I wish I could undo it all, take it all back. But I can't, I'm sorry. I ugly cried reading it, and I really don't know what to do. I've been up all night reading, and I am emotionally drained, confused, and unsure of everything. I watched the video again, and I also watched the video of me going insane. I don't remember a lot of what happened that was in the video. It is very painful to watch my wife's actions, but I have been looking at it over and over again. Why can't I stop looking at it? It is also very disturbing to watch myself go crazy, and I can't stop doing that either. I keep going back and watching it from start to the end, over and over again. I try to put it away, but an hour or so later, I find myself back watching it all over again. It's hurting me, so I don't understand why I do it. Also, is what she's saying even possible? That a person can be pulled into an affair where behavior becomes compulsive, like she describes it, where it's not really a free choice anymore. Maybe a wayward wife on here could share some insight? I also clearly see from her diaries that she probably developed a depression about 3 years ago after her favorite aunt died. Her perspective on life becomes very dark after this, almost hopeless I would say. I've read other stories where depression seems to cause drastic personality changes and be triggers for affairs. Any insight would be appreciated on this. She clearly never loved any of these men. She loved the ego boost, the increased self-esteem, the rush she felt from them seemingly telling her the right things. On D-Day she totally cut her affair partner out of her life and called his wife and told her about the affair. I know this because the affair partner's wife told me when I met her. She actually asked me if we could have a revenge affair. She was very focused on this, getting revenge. Like that would help anything? But beauty aside, she is probably the most annoying woman I've ever met. Talking to her was like nails on a chalkboard. Needless to say, we will not be having an affair and we will never ever meet in person again. I don't know what to do now. I can't sleep, I can't really think, so I could really use some help.
OP, why she was in that affair? What caused her desire for it? And if she was compulsive about it or not, is something your wife needs to find out on her own. The main question should be why she distanced herself from you and no longer went to you when she needed love or sex or attention. Instead, your wife began to look outside the marriage for the things that she should get or can ask from you, her husband. We obviously know the reason for this, but for your wife, I guess she needs to figure that out in therapy. For you, OP, I have only one suggestion. Don't make any decisions right now. I highly suggest divorcing, but if you don't want to, then whatever happens next will be on you. That is not a decision you need to make today. Just take your time. No matter what, make sure your stepson is your top priority. If that's what you want, then take care of yourself. And it would be best if you take the video and place it somewhere else. Don't look at it again. That's just really disturbing. And now for OP's final update.
I am very grateful to everybody on this forum. I have received a lot of help to better navigate this disaster. I am okay now. I feel I am back in control of things. I've been trying to get to see my wife, she refuses still, and her mother still acts as a go-between. I tried to call her out on her promise in her letter to me that she would do anything if I thought it would help in any way. So, her mother relayed the message that I believed us talking would help. I also asked her to see her doctor together to try to help me understand. The doctor will not tell me anything without her present. I will try to be patient. In summary, I have been diagnosed with PTSD, and my wife has been diagnosed with persistent depression and some bipolar disorder. She has a chemical imbalance in her brain, and they are trying out different medications for her. Many of you were right, her condition made her vulnerable, then a predator crossed her path, and here we are. Her affair partner has been cheating consistently on his wife for their entire relationship with multiple women in parallel most of the time. They are divorcing. The affair partner has been beaten up a bit, not badly from what I have heard. The affair partner's wife called the husbands of most of the women he has had affairs with. I have a friend staying with me most days, he keeps me focused. And I am going camping with my son this weekend. I was trying to confirm if the descriptions in her diary were correct, that she considered the sex as a chore. And watching her disconnected behavior and facial expressions in the video, she is basically just waiting for it to be over. I have not decided what to do, but I have deleted the video of her and of me going crazy. It was just causing me pain, and I just couldn't put it away. One part of me is screaming at me to just walk away, to run and find someone else. What if she cheats again? How can I trust her? Can I get rid of the movie running on a loop in my mind? Will I divorce her in X years because I can't get past this, etc.? I struggle a lot with these types of questions. But divorce would definitely mean that I lose some daily contact with my son, and there is no doubt that he needs me, at least for now. He is terrified of being abandoned, not that strange considering recent events. I think if I leave his mother now, it would make things worse for him. If I can leave her like she is now? What's preventing me from leaving him? He will probably look at it like that. The two of us have started going to the boxing gym together, and we are bonded stronger than ever. Being there for my son is giving me tremendous strength and motivation to face this with an open mind. He is leaning heavily on me at the moment, so even if I decided to divorce, I'm not sure if I could actually go through with it in the short term. He has begged me not to leave him again. The 2 weeks I was away was very traumatizing for him, and I'm not exposing him to that again. There is no telling how long it will take for his mother to stabilize enough to be a good parent for him again. If I divorce now, maybe she'd never recover? Even if I divorce her, I will still have the pain, I will still have the scars. I will bring that into any new relationship. I think that would greatly reduce the chances of such relationships being successful. Isn't it just as well that I am with her while I try to heal? At least she will know why I am acting like this and understand why I am struggling. If I leave her, what is really waiting for me out there? Single women my age seem to be either divorced for good reasons or they are so ravaged by baby rabies they will desperately go for anyone. They are not really considering if the person they choose is a good long-time partner for them. They seem very willing to play a role just to get into a relationship. That cannot last long-term, I think. It seems to me there is a high risk of a string of relationships that are doomed to begin with because one party is desperate and I am broken. Dating strangers and random hookups doesn't really appeal to me. Also, how long would it take me to find someone that understands me as well as my wife? She is the only person in my entire life that I felt she actually really gets me, and it took a long time to get to that point. Isn't it something I could use in my own healing? Would I ever be able to find someone again that could do that? How long would that take? There is no guarantee that a new partner wouldn't cheat as well. Given the circumstances, I actually think that the odds of my wife cheating again are lower than a new partner. My son also needs his mother, and she needs to heal before she can step back into that role. Will she heal faster and better if I divorce her? Or will she heal better if we try to reconcile? I don't fucking know. It's driving me nuts. How can I know she is safe to be around for my son if I'm not there with them? When it comes to my own healing, would I be better off alone? Or with her? Based upon what I have learned here, it seems those that choose that jump to divorce don't heal very well. It looks like the best outcome, as far as healing is concerned, is when the wayward actively contributes to the healing over a 3 to 5 year time period minimum. I don't know if she is even capable of that at the moment, to be honest. So here I am terribly conflicted, I have a million questions in my head and basically zero answers. I still struggle with the two extremes, reconciliation or divorce, and everything in between. I can't deny that I still love my wife. It turns out my bond to her isn't that easily broken. I really don't want to love her, the prideful side of me wants me to hate her. But I just can't lie to myself, I still love her deeply. And even though I fantasized about her getting hurt as badly as me the first few weeks, I don't want to hurt her or anyone. It wouldn't help me at all. Either way, I see a long painful road ahead of us. I hope I have the strength to stay the course and be patient enough to make sure I make the right choices for my family and me. The only thing I have been able to decide is that if I land on offering reconciliation, it will not just be given, I will need to see some effort. I will not offer reconciliation until I am absolutely sure we are two people 100% committed to that path. Also, if we do reconciliation, she will basically be a prisoner on probation. I don't want to be that guy, but what choice do I have? If I feel I can't trust her? Either way, we will need a lot of therapy. Maybe she doesn't even want a reconciliation? I just don't know. Not being able to talk to her is starting to become a real burden for me, it's stressing me out. I feel I really need to talk to her. If anyone has any good suggestions for these conversations, I am all ears. Again, thank you all.
God damn it, OP. You whiny simp, I thought you were different. I thought you had self-respect. I even said that you were intelligent and that I have respect for you earlier in the video. What the fuck just happened? You already decided what you're gonna do. Then what's the point in asking these questions? You already decided not to leave your stepson with this woman all alone. And if that's the case, then you must have decided already that you can't leave her either because of your son. That woman is basically a walking red flag, saying that she is less likely to cheat on you? What? OP, she had 2 affairs at the very least. What the fuck are you talking about? Look, if you're willing to waste the rest of your life to be with your cheating wife, even after the betrayal, then it's your choice. We can't do anything about it. Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, Patson, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/pro revenge, where OP gave his cheating wife one kick-ass party. Let's begin. My birthday present to ex-wife. Posted by Reddit user It's Me03.
Was told you guys would get a kick out of this. I had originally posted it in another topic, but it was suggested I'd share it with you. So here it is. Gather round, boy and girls, because it's time for the story of my cheating ex-wife and how I fucked her. Now bear with me as this is a bit of a long one, but fuck it. So, I had a feeling she was cheating, as she set off a lot of red flags. Constantly laughing and smiling when texting, saying it was just her mother when I asked. Needing to stay late every night after work. When I'd call in, her co-workers said she left hours ago. When I asked her what was going on, she'd laugh it off and say it was just something they did to each other at the office all the time. The last straw to where I knew something was definitely up was when she went out to get milk at 11:30 at night and didn't come back till 2 in the morning. Now if there are any words of wisdom I can pass on to others in all my years of experience, it's if you think your significant other is cheating, hire a fucking private investigator. They're goddamn good at what they do, and they will get some evidence that really helps in the later divorce. Fast track to her birthday, several months down the road. Now I know what you're thinking, why the hell did I wait months before I confronted her, and did it really need to be on her birthday? The answer to the first question is, I wanted as much evidence as possible to hand off to my lawyer, as well as make arrangements to find a new place to live, etc. Answer to your second question is of course, it had to be on her birthday. You see, after asking her what she wanted to do on her birthday this year, she was rather insistent on me going out of town with my friends, as she just had to work anyways and didn't want to be reminded she was aging. So I know something is up, and after finding a bottle of champagne and 2 glasses hidden in my closest, something in me snaps. So, I do what any sensible man would have done. I leave and go to my friend's house, pretending like I am going out of town. While there, I call up her mother, father, sister, and several of her friends. I tell them how I want to give her a big surprise by sneaking into her room with party streamers, kazoos, and a big cake with candles. Sounds fun, right? Well, boy was it. It's 8:30 in the morning, and I have everyone meet just outside our apartment. We all pile in the elevator, about 8 of us in total, her mother holding the cake and me reminding everyone to be as quiet as they can be. I put my key in and unlock the door. We all sneak in and make our way down the hall towards the bedroom. Each hold a kazoo, and mom holding the cake, grinning from ear to ear. Well, as I throw open the door and we all yell surprise. But the surprise was on us, and there was my wife, bent over in doggy-style position, with her lover staring at us wide-eyed mid-thrust. Mom drops the cake, sister screams, father begins to shout. I pretend like I'm horrified, to which her friends try to push everyone out while yelling at her. Wife, excuse me, ex-wife is sobbing and screaming how could I, while the lover is desperately trying to put his pants on while running out of the place. Needless to say, it was one of the best birthday presents I have ever given. TLDR gave ex-wife a kick-ass birthday present.
This is beautiful. The last few days I was listening to simps whining. This is an amazing ear cleanser and restored a little bit of faith in me. Sure, it's an old story, but it's definitely a classic. But I have to defend OP's ex-wife here. We gotta give her some credit for being honest at that moment. She was technically telling the truth when she said she was going out to get milk, although she didn't mention that she was the one doing the milking. On a more serious note, she was caught red-handed shagging another guy, which is obvious to everyone present clearly wasn't her husband. But she has the fucking nerve to ask, how could you? As if her family and friends interrupting her fuckfest somehow puts OP in the wrong? That's kind of how cheaters behave. They will justify anything that makes them not feel as bad. One of their favorite line is, things would never have gotten so complicated if you would have just kept my secret. That's what they do, gentlemen. Rather than being a rational adult and taking responsibility, they blame and beat down their partners. And for some fucking reason, a lot of men keeps falling for it. The gaslighting, the fake crying, the fake regret and guilt. Gentlemen, if you have a friend or family member that is getting deceived by a cheater, tie them down to a chair and keep slapping them until they finally open their eyes and wake up. Because if they don't, it could literally ruin their lives. Now, for OP's update.
Fuck, sorry everyone. Was about to respond when I saw I had a bunch of requests as to what happened next, so here it is. Well, to be honest, it was funny as hell at first. I tried to disguise my laughing by pretending I was choking up. After so long of being betrayed, I was the one who get to have the last laugh. Plus, since I had hired the private investigator, I was able to prove she was using my money to pay for things for her lover, hotels, dinners, etc. So I did get some compensation for that. Though, she still did get half of my life savings, that fucking bitch. But I was young and just starting out, so the amount I had then is pretty laughable now. So then reality sets it. Your marriage is over. The woman you fell in love with has betrayed you, and the last 2 years of your life were a bit of a waste. In the end, it's not even about the money. I really thought I loved this girl, why didn't she love me? For the longest time I wondered what was wrong with me and if anyone would truly be able to love me. Not to mention I was really close to her dad. Mine left when I was younger, and I never spoke to him since then, so hers kind of took me under his wing. Kind of the father I never had. I still call him from time to time, share with him my accomplishments as they come, and even stop by to see him when I get a chance. Divorce is never fun, boys and girls, and take my advice. When you're young and in love, don't be foolish and run into something. Take some time to really get to know the other person. Wait 3 to 5 years. Move in together. Fuck, I wish someone had just pulled me aside and said, man, think about what you're doing. Maybe you should give it some time. Also, another piece of advice. The old saying about you know how a girl really is by how she treats her parents. This is absolutely true. She was a total bitch to her parents, that should have been my first red flag.
Gentlemen, here is a much better advice from your host Patson. Just don't get fucking married. Hold on. Don't start attacking me in the comments just yet. Hear me out first. Look, getting married in today's modern society is one of the worst things a man can do to himself. Let's talk about the cost of the actual ceremony and reception first. The average cost of a wedding in the US alone is $28,000. 28 fucking thousand for a reunion with family and friends and a piece of paper. I know what you're thinking. There are many ways to get married for a lot cheaper. And you're correct. But here's the question. What does a man gain from getting married? Risk. That's what you get. You are literally risking at least half of everything you have to marry a woman. Take OP as an example. Despite solid evidence of his ex-wife's infidelity, the courts still gave her half his shit. Equality, right? 41% of all marriages end in divorce, and 70% of all those divorces are initiated by women. It's understandable if it's due to abuse. But the sad part is, the vast majority file for divorce because they get rewarded from it. In today's marriage, men have everything to lose, while women have everything to gain. This doesn't even include lawyers, court costs, child support, alimonies, and God forbid, paternity fraud. How the hell is that fucking fair? To the people asking why men are now refusing to get married, well, here's your answer. I hope you're satisfied. Just like how I will be satisfied if you consider donating to me, your host Patson. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my YouTube channel for you to watch absolutely free. So consider clicking that super thanks just below the video title, or you can use my PayPal in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, make sure to subscribe to Patson to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.